people at Truck Stop done teamed up with the boy Mark the Mentor. Are you ready to take your trucking business to the next level? With Truck Stop Pro, you get access to the best load board in the game, giving you the tools to find higher paying loads and streamline your operation. And right now, you can try the Pro plan free for 30 days, a $159 value. Click the link in the description to claim your free Pro plan and start making smarter moves for your trucking business today.
Warning: the following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults, as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say. Viewer discretion is advised.
Sweet.
What up? Come on in, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all post notifications. How's everybody doing today? Shout out to SD Walk, shout out to all the MGM members. Shout out to Slick Turbo, Chase Ray, what's going on? Shout out to Pippi, shout out to all the Who else we got? T Beezy, what's going on? Goat Logistics, what's up? I'm him. What up? Kobe, what up? Rich in Chicago, what up? Shout out to everybody representing the crib. Shout out to Great Polo representing that MGM thing. Shout out to SCM representing Macon, Georgia. Shout out to Spoken representing Michigan. Shout out to everybody. I heard some people down in the South got some snow. I heard y'all got a little snow and y'all tweaking. I'm gonna hit the tweaking button.
You tweaking.
Y'all franticing and stuff over a little snow. It ain't nothing but a little snow. What y'all why y'all tripping? Why y'all gotta shut the whole city down and close the schools over a few little inches? Over why y'all be panicking over those few little inches of snow? Oh, that was 2 weeks ago? Where's these people? Where's this stuff going on today in the South about? Maybe I'm tweaking. Did it snow in Georgia or something this morning? Snow in Georgia. Is it snow in Georgia? Oh, no. I'm tweaking. Snow possible this week for Georgia. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm tweaking. My bad. I don't know. I saw something this morning. Maybe it was an old story. My bad. But anyway, come on in. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all post notifications. How's everybody doing this lovely Tuesday morning? All right, today we're going to talk about entrepreneurship because we seen a shift. Because just a few weeks ago, right, it was the mindset was one place, and we're starting to see it different. I actually seen another content creator do a video and say, "Oh, here we go again with the trucking is trash stuff," and I knew it was coming. And it's here now. Because I was having to battle people about a month ago, 3 weeks ago, about this whole $5,000 thing, and we hearing some things. Some people have exited. You know, you got people running around the internet complaining, trucking is trash. We got people that want to start businesses to become millionaires but don't want to do the work. It was a guy that called up on the call-in show. I talked to him, good guy. You know, he didn't, he was a good guy, but even with that guy, I had to help him get his mindset together. He said he was tired of talking on the phone. What do people think entrepreneurship is? I think it's a false or a misconception about entrepreneurship. I think a lot of people think entrepreneurship is no work, make money, sit at home. Your trucks are running, drivers are going to be easy to find. They're going to be compliant. They're not going to give you a hard time. They're going to show up to work every day. They're not going to get in no accidents. They ain't going to steal company time. They ain't going to steal fuel. They ain't going to do dumb stuff like not strap loads in. They're not going to get in the accidents. People think entrepreneurship is just going to be a straight arrow up and to the right, and everything is going to be peaches and cream every single day, and it's just nothing's going to go wrong, and you can sit at home and book flights and take trips and go to Balenciaga, go to Gucci, go to Louis Vuitton, shop all day because your business is just running turnkey with no issues. You're gonna make large lump sums of money, and you're never gonna have to do anything. It's not gonna be any emotional stress. There's not gonna be any mental stress. There's not gonna be any physical stress. It's just not gonna be any turmoil. It's just everything is gonna be peaches and cream, and it's just roses and lilies, and it's gonna be sunny every day. And when you step outside, the air is gonna smell like lilies and violets, and just everything is just gonna be great. That's what I think people think this shit is. But listen, I'm gonna hurt some feelings today. This is gonna be one of the ones where people gonna be mad at me. I'm just letting you know. So listen, if you can't take the heat, stay out the kitchen, big dog. Now is the time for you to leave. We're gonna give you a few seconds to leave. Cause some people feelings gonna get hurt. It's that time that we gotta hurt some feelings. I guess crush some dreams. This is where they say Big Mark becomes the dream crusher. And then you're gonna come into my comment section and say, "Oh, you're a dream crusher. Let these guys go with no money and travel cross country and do it and da 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 da." But then you ain't gonna go in your pocket and send them a cash out when they do the dumb shit and they can't pay their rent. So this finna be one of them. So if you don't want to hear it, leave. Because to somebody it's gonna be negative and pessimistic, which equals the truth. The truth in today's times is pessimistic and negative. So now's your time. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all post notifications. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Listen, some of you OTR got y'all finna get mad at Big Mark. This is when y'all get mad and run the other content creators say, "Oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about." you can start a box truck business for $3,000. He doesn't know. This is one of them ones. Now's your time to leave. Leave. Get up out of here. Go ahead and get up out of here. It's finna get ugly. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Listen, let me tell you something. We're going to get straight to it because I want to hit the gym today. Starting a business, I don't care what business you start. Trucking, restaurant, landscaping, construction, even a goddamn it, you want to be a goddamn influencer, a YouTuber. That shit's still hard. Anything that you want to see some level of success from is gonna be hard. It's nothing easy about it. I see a lot of people coming into YouTube thinking this shit gonna be easy. YouTube is the hardest platform, social media platform to build on. It's harder than Instagram. It's harder than TikTok. It's the hardest. People come over here thinking they finna run it up because they ran up on TikTok. No, it don't work like that. Anything that you want to be successful in, you're gonna work hard at. Building a business is gonna be the hardest work you're gonna ever do. Mentally, emotionally, physically, it's gonna be the hardest thing. So when people say, "Oh, I want to be a millionaire, I want to start my own business because I want to be able to take vacations and just live free and do whatever it is I want when I want to do it." All right, well, you have to work to get to that point. You have to listen. When you want, time, right? You have to buy your time back. Every fiber in your body while you're building a business, especially in those early days of building, that's you working to buy that time. The harder you work, the sooner you can buy your time back. The harder you work, coupled with the more you sacrifice, the sooner you can buy your time back. The formula is simple. I've given you this formula since I first started the channel. Y'all used to give me a hard time. Remember that? Y'all don't give me a hard time no more. I wonder why. Because everything I told you that was going to happen came into fruition. I've told people, don't do this. You're going to go and you ain't going to be able to pay rent. Y'all got mad at me and look, they went and they couldn't pay rent. Why? Because it's simple. The hard part is actually the doing it. People don't want to do it. Listen, starting a business is going to challenge every fiber in your body, man. It's going to push you to the limits. It's going to challenge your patience. It's going to challenge your resilience. It's going to challenge your ability to problem solve. What do I always say? I said, you know what? As a business owner, if you can't solve problems, you'll never succeed at business. Because every day you're going to be faced with problems. And the bigger you get, the more problems you're going to be faced with. The term more money, more problems, that wasn't just a song. It's the real deal. All right? And if you can't solve problems, then you're never going to be able to be successful in business. You know what? You need to solve problems, critical thinking skills. And what I'm starting to realize when I do these call-in shows and I talk to people and I listen to people's journeys, and some people we focus on more than others because we feel like we have vested interest in their success and not kind of changing their mentality and their mindset. They can't think critically. We got people now that are relying on Chat GPT. They're asking Chat GPT when they're going to take over and shit like that. They're going to Chat GPT to ask them what they should eat for dinner and all this shit. All right, so that is making people, it's making them, it's contributing to people thinking less critical or thinking, yeah, is that what I'm saying? Yeah, let me just keep it a buck. It's making people more stupid. Fuck it. I'm not finna try to be politically correct today. Fuck it. It's making people more stupid. It is what it is. I was trying to think of the politically correct way to say it, but skip it. It's just making people more stupid. How can you run a business if you can't think critically? When you're faced with a problem, you should be able to problem solve. As a business owner, there's no one to turn to. You're sitting at the top. There's no manager, store manager, general manager, HR manager, operations manager. You're all of that. But what I'm starting to realize is people can't think critically. They have no critical thinking skills, so therefore they're not able to problem solve. Running a business, your mind going to be racing 24 hours a day, even when you sleep. You're going to be dreaming. You're going to be thinking about the business. At dinner, you're going to be in a cloud somewhere because you're thinking about what happened early today. You think about how you're going to problem solve it tomorrow. You thinking months and months ahead. Why? Because everything is on you. The success of your business is based on what you do or don't do. So when I hear all these people like Daniel and all these people that be coming on, everybody got all these hopes and dreams, but then you see the same pattern. No planning. People ask you, why do I need a business plan? Shit like that pisses me off. When business plan is why you asking me, you asking me why you need a business plan. Let's think about this. Business plan. You're asking me why you need it, and then you get mad at me for hitting the button on your Google.
You tweaking.
Oh, man, ain't no question dumb or stupid. Who told you that? This is why I don't do these live streams every day like I used to. And as soon as I stop doing them, here come the DMs. Here come the DMs with all the problems and shit. I've got more DMs in the past 2 weeks since I've been doing less live streams with more issues than I have when you see me more often. Because everything I told you was going to happen is starting to come into fruition. The whole $5,000 thing, oh my God. The stories I could tell you about, some of the shit that I've heard, even a story yesterday. There was someone that was an advocate. Oh, Mark don't know what he's talking about. Found out, owe me an apology, big dog. Heard it didn't work out for you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 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 You think I say shit because it sounds cool? Sometimes it do sound cool, but I say it because it's true. Why? Because I've been there. I know what it takes. I know what the margins are. I know the cost associated with doing this type of work. And then what'll happen is people will make money, but they expect to make more money. How do you expect to make more money than what it costs you to make the money? How do you expect to make more money than what it costs you to make the money? It costs money to make money. It's going to cost you more money to make the money than what you're left with. I don't understand this shit. I don't get it. Starting a business, becoming an entrepreneur is probably going to be the hardest test that you have in your life. And that contributes to why the number of people that succeed is the minority and not the majority. The majority is failure. That contributes to why so many people fail versus succeed, because a lot of people they don't have the resilience. They don't got what it takes to get to that other side. So we're going to break it down today. And I got a few bullet points that I'm going to go over, and I know I'm going to piss some people off cuz we going to we got to get down to the real nitty-gritty, cuz I think some people forgot, maybe it's new subscribers, new people coming in, it is tax season, so we got to get down to this. When you work a job, you clock in and you clock out. You got set hours, you got scheduled breaks. And at the end of the day, you take your behind home and you detach yourself from work. When you clock out, you're not thinking about your job. If you work at McDonald's at 5 o'clock, you got to punch in tomorrow at 9, from 5 p.m. to 9 a.m. You're not thinking about McDonald's. You don't care. Everybody got somebody, significant other, whatever, that you be like, yo, how was work today? Hey man, don't talk to me about work. Work is work. How many of y'all heard that when y'all ask somebody how was work today? How many of y'all heard that? It could be from your significant other, your friends, so on and so forth. I don't want to talk about work. Work is work, right? You detach yourself, it's over with. When you have a business, you don't clock out. Never. Even if you're not on the truck, you still there. Mentally, you're there. And if you're not there, look at your business. I guarantee you're struggling. A real entrepreneur is always thinking business. And there's a level of worry there. If you're a true entrepreneur, there's always that level of worry looming. And if it's not, then that's an issue. It's always on your mind, even when you sleep. I've talked about, you know, different relationships, being at dinner, just mind somewhere else, being on vacation, and different island, out the country. It's like I'm there, but I'm not getting a chance to fully enjoy it because I'm still fielding phone calls. I'm still having to deal with issues back home. I'm still thinking. I'm still worrying. You're always thinking about business as an entrepreneur. You wake up thinking about it. You go to bed thinking about it. There's not a moment in the day you don't think about it. If something goes wrong in the middle of the night, guess who's got to solve it? You. You got trucks running at night. Guess what? Something goes wrong. You got to get up out of bed and problem solve. I remember I had a guy who was moving someone. We were moving him from here to Arizona, and I had booked him a hotel room. I had planned this route out, right? And I had a company that was going to unload the truck when he got to Arizona. And I had planned this right out. I said, all right, tonight you're going to stop here. I forget, I think it was in New Mexico or something. And I already got it booked. I had booked it through Expedia, his room. And when he got there, the guy didn't want to give him the room. It was something about the third party or something. I can't remember. It was a while ago. And something about, yeah, the third party, because I went through Expedia to get my points and so on and so forth. And guess what? He couldn't get the room. So he called me. It was like 2 a.m, right? Normally when I had a crew doing cross country and they're running overnight, I sleep light for situations like this. So I had to get up, stop what I was doing, and I had to book him another room at the same hotel. And I had to deal with the Expedia thing the next day. I wasn't even gonna really get involved into the, investigation, even with me, showing the person at the front desk and everything. He said he saw it, but it wasn't booked or they didn't get the money from whatever the case may be. I had to ended up just booking him another room. Like, I don't got time to investigate it right there. Let me get him in a room so he can get some sleep. But I had to get up in the middle of the night to do that. It don't stop. There's no paid vacations. There's none of this. There's no health care. There's no benefits. Guess who pays for all that? You do. All the call-in shows when we break down costs, ain't not nan person yet to this day has associated health insurance into their costs. You got a company, your business, if you're running full time, your business should be paying your insurance. Ain't nobody told me that. Not one person yet. I'm still waiting. I appreciate everybody for being transparent, but we got a lot of people out here that ain't got no health insurance. Man, Mark, nobody told me that. That's the point. You do all the delegating. You do all the telling. It don't stop. The ideal work-life balance, it's like a luxury. I think it's like a verbal luxury. When people say, oh, work-life balance. Listen, I swear to God, I don't even know if this is a thing. I never heard this term. Either I never heard it or I never heard it as much as I heard it since the pandemic, before the pandemic. I can't recall ever hearing work-life balance. Maybe work-life balance was a phrase before the pandemic, but I didn't start hearing it until the pandemic. And not only did I start hearing it, it was like I heard it everywhere. Work-life balance. My work-life balance means much to me. My mental health, my work-life balance. I need time and all this, that, and the third. I just started hearing it and I haven't stopped hearing it until this day. Prior to the pandemic, it was like, man, you work or you starve. Now everybody is more concerned about this balance. Check this out. When you are an entrepreneur, work-life balance should be the farthest thing from your mind. It should be work, 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 more work, work. Even if you're not physically working, you should be mentally working so that this time that you want, right, you can get to that point sooner. What is this work-life balance stuff? That shouldn't even be a thing. Oh, my mental health. Well, if you're not mentally strong enough, then probably entrepreneurship is probably not the thing for you. Let's keep it a buck. I went on a whole tangent this summer purposely, and people fell for it. The whole cost per mile thing. A lot of people didn't get what I was doing. They just really was all in the cheap freight thing. A lot of people missed the point. A lot of people didn't open their minds to what I was really saying. And when I realized it, I kept expounding on it purposely because you kept coming back to be mad. All I was telling you was build your business to compete. Stop worrying about what other people is doing, because if you running around the internet complaining, you spending time complaining instead of solving the problem. You getting mad at me for telling you the real. None of that shit would apply to me, because if the moment it started applying to me, that's when I would go into problem solving mode. So when I say ain't no such thing, it shouldn't be no such thing. If it becomes a problem, then we're going to solve the problem. That's when your critical thinking should kick in. That's when you start making the sacrifices that the other people that's running around the internet saying all this shit ain't willing to make. Once you start the business, it's your job to make sure and ensure it's successful. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. So when I went on that little tirade, it was done purposely. Only a fool couldn't realize that I wasn't doing that shit on purpose. The foolish people listened to it verbally for just what I was saying. Ain't no such thing as cheap freight. The people that were smart saw the bigger picture and the message. Those are the people that were thinking outside the box. Those are the people that dug into their critical thinking skills that understood what I was saying. You think as a business owner, you're not going to be faced with problems? Yeah, you're going to be faced with problems probably every day. You faced with life problems. Why are you complaining? When you come to the internet and complain, it's falling on deaf ears. The only people that's listening are other people that are in the same boat as you, complainers and whiners, because misery love company. Ain't nobody that's winning or that's faced with that challenge that's looking to win. Those people, they kicking the problem solver. They don't want to be around that misery love company shit. Because at the end of the day, the person that's in the same boat with you can't do shit to help you. I just proved that with Daniel. I just proved that fucking shit with Daniel. All those people that was kissing and mad at me and doing all that goofy shit in the comment section, ain't none of the motherfuckers showed up to help this dude pay his rent. But they quick to kumbaya because misery love company. Person in the same boat as you, they got the same mindset, they can't do shit for you. Yeah, get this shit up out the mud. That's why I be like, man, what? Everything gonna fall on you when you start a business. And even with that situation and some of the other situations that we see, a lot of people can't handle the pressure of everything falling on them. Goes back to what I said a few minutes ago, problem solving, critical thinking. There's gonna be days in business where you're gonna be consumed. Like, it's like you're gonna get hit in every different direction. The morning start, there's an issue, and right after that comes another issue. Now you got 4-5 issues on you, and then everybody looking at you. What we finna do, boss? What we finna do, boss? What you gonna do? You gotta solve a multitude of problems like that. Everybody ain't built for that. Ain't no safety net. This is why I talk about working capital. And we see people get upset at Big Mark about working capital. And then they say, oh, we come from nothing. We'll start from the bottom, sucker. No, the problem is you don't want to start down here. You want to start up here. Start down here and work your way up. You don't want to do that. All right. Well, here's what I'm saying. You can't start up here with no money. If you got no money, you need to start down here and work your way up. Can't tell people that. People get mad at you for telling them to start at the bottom. We seen that recently. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. I can't tell you how to start a box truck business or any business with at an advanced starting point with no money. I ain't the guy for that. I ain't finna hold you. I can't do it. I can tell you how to build successfully from starting from humble beginnings. I can tell you how to start at the beginning with building a foundation and working your way up. I can't tell you how to start a successful business at an advanced entry point with no capital. I can't tell you how to do that. Maybe somebody else is probably a better suit for you, not me. I can't tell you how to do it because I didn't start that way. I started from the bottom and I worked my way up. I grew. If I would have somehow come across some money, at the beginning and started at the top, advanced like a lot of these guys are doing now and aspiring to do, I would have failed too. And I can say that confidently in hindsight because even started from the bottom, right, and working my way up, I've talked about mistakes that I've made at the beginning. It just didn't cost me anything because I started at the bottom. So I was able to start with a low cost of the learning curve. It didn't really cost me that much because I started at the bottom. So the type of jobs that I was doing, the mistakes that I was making, they were okay. I wasn't dealing with, 3PLs, and I wasn't dealing with consumers of a certain tax bracket, um, or a certain economic status. Those weren't the customers that were contacting me. The customers that were contacting me and the jobs that I was doing were people on a lower economic status, and they didn't really care about if I nicked their dresser or their nightstand because it was hand me down or dumpster diver or hand me down or whatever stuff. Anyway, they were just more concerned about getting stuff from point A to point B the cheapest. They were looking to get it from point A to point B so cheap that they were willing to put it on the back of a pickup truck. And that was the beauty. And this is why my learning curve didn't cost me, because it allowed me to learn the industry and make the mistakes without having to financially be responsible for them. But everybody want to come into this industry now with just enough or not enough money, start with an expensive piece of equipment, high commercial insurance, don't know anything, and then you got claims and the middle mile guys like you sending me these pictures of the load flipping upside. Well, I heard something, but I didn't pull over. And then when I got there, this is what happened. Like, bro, y'all would be surprised the amount of stuff that I get offline. I'm looking at the whole truck flipped inside of the truck. I don't know how that shit happened. So now they're not paying me, Mark. I'm done. This is my third load. Man, Mark, I didn't like you at first because you said you kind of crushed my dreams. And every time I watch your videos, the way I wanted to start, you were saying that it ain't likely. And I did it anyway. And man, I've been running for 2 weeks and I ran out of money. Well, man, what makes you thought you could do it with that little money, dog? Like, what about, the operational costs? Well, I figured that once I factored the first load and that would, get me the fuel, I get to the second load, but I wasn't expecting it to be this expensive because other people were saying that you could do it. You was the only one who's saying that I came across as saying it's not likely. So you just gonna give up, big dog? Yeah, I ain't got no more money. So you don't want to start over from humble beginnings? Nah, man, I'm just gonna go ahead and give me a job. Ain't no boss. Ain't nobody to run to. Every decision that you make, you got to deal with it. Yeah, you get to celebrate the wins, but guess what? Even when your driver go do some dumb shit, it's your fault. If your driver go do some dumb shit, it's still your fault. You gonna pay for it. Your driver ain't got the money to pay for that shit. You gonna pay for it one way or another. Pop Sosa say thinking Americans have a better work ethic than immigrants. I outwork any immigrant. That's situational. That's situational, big dog. You put any immigrant up, I'm finna rip their motherfucking neck off. You know why? Because I gotta live. I gotta eat. I don't care who you is. You could be an immigrant, an American, a goddamn an alien, a cartoon character, Ronald McDonald. I gotta get it. And if you in my way, then sayonara. This ain't, see, I don't like this immigrant versus American thing. That shit is situational. Because guess what? You got lazy immigrants. When I was going into the gym the other day, well, yesterday it was a guy begging. He was an immigrant. Begging. That shit ain't immigrant versus American. That's situational. I seen people on the news that came up here, that crossed the border, and they spoke to them in Spanish. They said, what, you up here to work? Nah, I ain't up here to work. I'm up here to get free money. I don't want to work. It's people that crossed the border during this last administration that came up here just to live off the system. What we talking about? That shit is situational. It's dog eat dog. I don't care who you put in front of me. If it's a bag there and it's me versus whoever, I'm going to go get that bag. If they bigger than me, I'm going to take them. I'm going to take their knees out. I'm going to kick them in the kneecap. I'm going to kick them in the ding ding. Whatever I got to do to slow them down so I can get to the bag first, you better listen. Hey, listen. Hold on. Don't get me started. I came in. I wanted to come in, get in, and get out on this last year. Don't get me started now. Don't get me started. Immigrant, American, that ain't got shit to do with it. All that shit is situational based on the individual. I don't care if you could be there. It could be me versus you. I'm going to go get that bag, man. What you talking about, an immigrant? It don't matter. I don't care who they is. What we talking about? Done threw me off. Now, not to take anything away from the immigrants, they got a hell of a work ethic. But it's Americans here that got hell of work ethics too. At the end of the day, it's situational. It's based on the individual and it's based on the mindset of the individual. Nigga, you could be Casper the Friendly Ghost. Now, I'm going to call Ghostbusters to slow your punk ass down, and I'm going to get to that bag. Talking about a goddamn immigrant. The hell? A motherfucker who let an immigrant slow them down. If they're American, then that's just on them. That's their situation. They ain't my situation. Shit, nigga, I'm going to call motherfucker. I'm going to call ICE. If I got to call ICE, I'm going to call ICE. Slow you down, pimp. Oh, well, it's an immigrant. Oh, shit, he got a little bit of head start. 911. Hey, ICE, we got us one over here. Get here soon. Get here soon. We gonna do what we gotta do, big dog. Who said we gonna play fair? We might have to play dirty. That immigrant shit don't mean nothing. That's situational. Yes, there's gonna be some immigrants that's gonna outwork some Americans, but there's situations where there's Americans that outwork immigrants. Ain't no immigrant or no American, no Honduran, Venezuelan, Mexican, Indonesian gonna get in my way. You think I'm gonna let one of them prevent me from paying my mortgage? I ain't Daniel. Well, all that goofy shit. Oh, well, you can't get mad at a person for wanting to live in a tent because they found a way to live without having to work. That's the goofiest shit I ever heard in my life. Not me. You in my way, and I got to get the mortgage or the rent or the bills paid. Hey, listen. What we talking about? Got nothing to do with no immigrant. I hate that immigrant versus American shit. That's all situational. He quiet now. Where you at? Ain't nobody stopping me. The bank calling. Listen, hey pimp, listen. Check this out. Listen, we don't care what's going on. All we know is due on the first. This is due on the first. So you think I'm finna let it anything? Now we gotta go get that. The bank said it's due on the first. You know how many immigrants I done put my foot on their neck? Ain't no guaranteed paycheck. You gotta earn it. And this is a great point. I'm glad he brought that up. And I went on a little tirade. That wasn't a rant. That was a tirade. But ain't nothing guaranteed. Ain't no guaranteed paycheck. When you work a job, you know exactly what you get and what you're gonna get paid. You get a salary, you know how much your salary is. You get an hourly paycheck, you know how much you're getting paid per hour. As an entrepreneur, nothing's guaranteed, right? Because he feels like the immigrants are coming to take what I got. You tweaking.
You tweaking.
But in some situations, they do. So he's right in some situations, because in some situations, they will take. There's people here that are American that ain't got it in them. Ain't nothing guaranteed. Some months you can make good money. Other months you may not make nothing at all. This is why you need working capital. This is why when people challenge me on this whole working capital thing, like, to me, that's like, how, like, to argue and debate somebody on working capital that it's not necessary, like, that's ignorant. And I'm not speaking on any specific person, so I'm getting your feelings. I'm speaking because a few people then came to me with this shit. Oh, well, we gotta get it. You know, we ain't got nothing. Then they use the whole we ain't got nothing shit. Cool. When I started, I had shit. That's why I keep saying start from humble, but start from the bottom. Work your way up. I told a guy on the last call-in show, I said, well, just do labor only. You still make $100 an hour doing labor only without a truck. And there's plenty of opportunity. And I gave them where to go to get these opportunities. And you got people that just feel like they need the truck. Bro, you can make $100 an hour doing labor only. You don't have anything. So you have to start from somewhere. But people want to debate and argue, and how can you argue nothing? You don't even have nothing though. You don't got the money, you don't even got the experience, the education, the know-how. That's why you asking. So the moment you give them the advice and work is associated with it, oh, financial freedom. You start this business. What's your exit plan? What's your exit strategy? There's no HR manager. I say it all the time. So you have to set yourself up, your benefits, health, medical, vision, 401k. There's no sick leave. There's no PTO. So you got to work. You got the flu. You got the stomach virus. You got the runs. Man, what you going to do? You got to thug it out. No bereavement. People don't think about this shit. God forbid a loved one dies. A loved one. Mom, dad, sibling. Hey, everything got to stop. You ain't going to miss the funeral. Ain't no bereavement pay. This is why you need working capital. This is why you need to appropriate funds correctly. This is why you can't rob from the sustainability of the business. Because God forbid you an owner operator and mama go, you got to stop, come off the road. You got to set up and plan for everything. We did the review of the guy, the trucker last year who couldn't even afford to. He came off the road for the service, and as soon as the service was over, he got in his truck and got right back on the road. He couldn't even afford to grieve. So you want to sit up here and debate me about working capital. You want to debate me about robbing from the sustainability of the business. See, these are things that people don't think about. We talk about the unforeseen situations like maintenance and things like that, but what about situations like this? You have to prepare for this. So everybody, oh, I want to buy my time back. All right, well, what do you have set up to buy your time back? Are you making the right investments? Where's the sacrifice coming from? Well, Mark, I made 5,000. It cost me 3,000 this week for the business for everything. So I made 2,000. No, you didn't. What you mean, Mark? Listen, I made 5,000. My truck rental, my insurance, my cost per mile, my fuel, everything, my factoring cost me 3,000. I got 2,000. That's what I made. No, you didn't. Mark, what you mean? Well, did you pay yourself? Yeah, 2,000. All right, so what did the business make? 2,000. No, you wouldn't. I am the business. No, you're not. The business is the business. You are man. You phone them. So if you paid yourself 2,000, what was left over, that means the business has nothing. That means you're running a broke business. That means you're robbing from the sustainability of business. This is why when the truck breaks down, you ain't got no money because that 2,000 that was left over, you thought it was yours. You came off the road for the weekend. You turned up at the club with your homies in them. You tricked off, got a room with your boo, bae. You went and, smash her for the weekend. You got a nice, decent room. You dig what I'm saying? You got a bottle. You pop some bottles in the club. Now you broke. You going back out on the road. A week and a half down the line, your truck done broke down and you ain't got no money. You ain't got no health insurance. The chick that you messed around with that you met at the club last week, you didn't do what was in your best interest, and now you got the itchy and scratchy show going around. You ain't got no health insurance because the 2,000 that you made, you went and blew it. You ain't got no health insurance, so now you got to come off the road. You can't go to urgent care. You got to go to the clinic. You got to go to the free clinic, pimp. I told you. Didn't I tell you I wasn't playing around today? I told you. I told you. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, post notifications. That's why I be telling y'all stay away from them lot lizards. You ain't got no health insurance. Hey, you better stay away from them lot lizards, man. Stop playing. Speaking of health insurance, how much money you gonna sacrifice from what you thought you made so that you can invest into some health insurance, into some 401k, so that when you do get to that point, you can buy your time back. You can afford to buy your time back. It's up to you to set yourself up for the future. Ain't no HR manager. Not to this day has one person said, yeah, Mark, my health insurance, my business is covering my health and my retirement. Not one. You know why? Because most people that come up, most people are struggling. Even the ones that sit quietly in the back, they know they ain't doing it. And health insurance ain't cheap. When you have to pay for it out your own pocket, it ain't cheap. It's different when you work a company and they meeting you halfway, or they meeting you 70% of the way, or in some cases 90% of the way. When you got to pay for it, oh, it's expensive. It's expensive. And it keeps going up. It went up. My health insurance went up three or four times last year. Or was that the year before last? One of them years it went up like 3 or 4 times. It might have been the year before last. It might have been the year before. It might have been 23. But yeah, something to think about. Pressure. It's overwhelming. You know, being an entrepreneur is just overwhelming. It can be overwhelming. That's why only the strong survive. Like these guys that you see that just willing to give up so quickly on everything, man. These ain't them type of guys. It's guys that got that dog in them that just put foot on neck. And not number 6. See, if I put the 6 on your neck, I'm being generous. If I really want to put my foot on your neck, I'm coming with that number 3. Because it's a heavier shoe. Got that elephant on it. It got that elephant on it. If I put a 6 on your neck, I'm being generous. If I put that number 3 on, if I put the white one on, because you know they don't reproduce that one off, and the black one that come out, they bring that one out often. I got pairs and pairs, and I got pairs that ain't even wore. But that white one though, if I put that one on your neck, oh listen, I'm trying to stomp your windpipe. A lot of people can't handle the pressure. They can't deal with it. Because it's a lot of things, a lot of problems, a lot of solving, a lot of critical thinking. You solving problems, you thinking about advancing and scaling and making more money. You're prepping and you're planning. Your brain is just always racing. You don't have a moment to sit and just give your brain some idle time. It's just a lot of pressure. If you don't keep revenue coming in, you don't eat. If you don't find customers, you don't eat. If you make too many mistakes, your business is going to fail and collapse. You trying to think about ways to prevent from making mistakes. You're doing everything to do things right. This is why I'm saying if you're an entrepreneur and you ain't got some level of worry, just a small percent, The more successful, the more tenured you become, that worry becomes less and less and less. But it always looms in the back because you don't know what could happen. I like to use Costas as an example because he's come up and been transparent. Really successful restaurant here in Chicago and one of the most prestigious areas, grossing high six figures a month. Pandemic comes. Unforeseen, something that a person couldn't even imagine. Unfortunate. It's different when that level of pressure is always on you. The unknowing. Because even if you work for a job and something like that happens, and let's say you work for a restaurant, but you're an employee there and that business collapses, there's plenty of opportunities. You don't deal with the stress of something that you built from nothing into something and just being taken away for something that you can't even control. Employee, they get their severance, they get their last check, they go about their business, apply somewhere else, using the experience from your facility to get them hired somewhere else. They go on about their life. They don't have to deal with the stress and the emotional stress and all that shit from something that you created. That's why that worry is just always, it's a lot of pressure. Stress is relentless. It's there when you start because the concern and the worry about are you going to make it or not make it? Then once you make it, the stress is there about keeping it and keep going. The bigger you get, the more costs that are associated with it, and so on and so forth. Some people can handle it, some people can't. That's why so many entrepreneurs that aren't strong experience that burnout, that depression, and extreme anxiety. It's the truth. You want the success, but you're not willing to suffer for it. It gets greater later. See, a lot of people think starting a business is glory. Hardest work you ever do. Hardest work you'll ever do. And you will suffer. A lot of people aren't willing to suffer. Mentally, physically, emotionally. You're going to work harder than anybody else you know. Anything that you did prior to starting a business, I don't care if you was in construction, using a goddamn it jackhammer. I don't care if you worked, on the rail and you was moving the rail ties, those heavy ass. I don't care. The hardest shit that you ever thought you did, it wasn't as hard as what you thought it was until you start a business. You're going to work harder than everybody you know. You're going to miss out on things. Vacations, weekends, friends, clubs, events, concerts, comedy shows, time with the family, all that shit. You're going to miss out on it. More times than not. And if you really trying to get it, you're going to miss out on more times than not. If you're not really, you're going to make sure you're there for everything. You're going to be the person that turned down the bag to go kick it. Look what I told Youngblood about 2 months ago. every weekend he was going home to Maine. Why you going home to Maine? Man, I said, what you trying to go home? You got a girlfriend, don't you? Yeah, yeah. He started smiling. I said, you trying to get home to see your girl? Yeah, Mark, I want to see my girl. I miss her. I said, fam, stop going home every weekend. Young kid, 22, actually listen. If you watch my channel, when I be telling these young cats shit, they don't like to listen. He listened. Saw a change in revenue immediately. Yeah, he gonna have to take the 2 days off, but where home is for him doesn't put him in the radius where he makes money at. And guess what? That information came right on time because the money that he made from listening to me, all that extra money, about 3 weeks later, he had 2 back-to-back breakdowns. So all that extra money came in handy. That's the sacrifice that I'm talking about. When you run a business, especially at the beginning, you living in uncertainty. If you have a group of friends and you're the entrepreneur and everybody else works a career, you living in uncertainty while they living in stability. This is why I tell some people to get a job. See, I'm assessing this shit from experience. So when all these motherfuckers that is in the same boat as some of the people that come up and say get a job, to get upset with a person who has done it, has been through it, I can listen to what you're saying and assess your mindset and be like, man, go get a job. You ain't him. But see, the people that's in that same boat, they feel like, oh, I'm crushing their dreams. They don't see it the way I see it because they ain't been there. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. When you tell me you're not willing to go do something or what you is and what you don't want to do, man, get your goofy ass off my line. I done did hella shit I didn't want to do. When you own a business, the business don't meet the needs of you, you meet the needs of the business. So when people tell me they want to be an entrepreneur and what they don't want to do, go get a fucking job. Fuck is you talking about? The business don't meet the needs of you, you meet the needs of the business. So then you hear the people say, he's crushing his drink. That's how I know you don't know shit. You become a slave for the business. You meet the needs of the business. The business don't meet the needs of you. You do whatever you need to do to keep the business going. The business don't got to do shit for you. What is we talking about? So when I tell you take your punk ass to go get a job, it's because the shit you say like that. I don't care what the people in the audience think. They gonna join you in failure just off the dumb shit you just said. Because any person that's been in business that's seen some level of success will tell you the same thing. You should be willing to do a bunch of shit that you don't want to do. Nigga, I ain't shoveled shit. All them pit bulls at the yard, didn't nobody clean up all that shit. I cleaned that shit up. Big mountains of pit bull shit. All type of shit that you wouldn't think a person at my level would do. I didn't get paid to clean up pit bull shit, but guess what? Somebody had to clean up pit bull shit. And that some person just had to be me. Here we go with the jobs uncertain these days. A person who has a weak mindset is better off at a job than in business. If they take their behind to work and they do what they supposed to do, as long as the job is there and they get a job in something that we know is not going anywhere, something that's STEM related, they'll be okay. Not everybody has the mindset to move and shake as an entrepreneur and forecast and see things coming and make the sacrifices and this, that, and the third. So when we talk about the job versus the entrepreneur, people take that shit way out of context. Let's talk about Daniel. Anybody in here that has seen this kid's journey, he's going to be more likely to be successful at a job with someone delegating him tasks than entrepreneurship. He don't got the mental fortitude to be an entrepreneur. He don't got the. He's not a self-starter. He's pessimistic about it. He's not going to be willing to go above and beyond because he looks at everything like work and slave and all this dumb shit. So he needs somebody to tell him where to be at what time, when to leave, and what to do. Why? Because even if he gets by with that mentality of half-assing it, he's going to eventually come up and have to compete with a guy like me. And then that's just good. If he get by, he eventually going to have to come up against a guy like me. And then I'm just going to go ahead and turn his water off. So what we talking about? He better off going and getting a job. Not willing to do it. I'm going to turn his water off. I told you this was going to be one of them ones. We ain't had one of them ones in a minute. I had to give y'all some chance. Y'all done pissed Big Mark off, man. Y'all made me mad. That's why I disappeared for a couple weeks. And stopped doing these morning live streams because y'all all in y'all feelings and emotional and stuff. And I had to let y'all understand what it was and feel it out here. And it didn't take too long. It didn't take too long. All this what you don't want to do and all this, that, and the third. Man, the world don't work like that, big dog. What Buddy Ass say the other day? Buddy Ass was cool with being homeless and not having to work. Like, man. You don't want to trade short-term comfort for long-term success. Everybody want the rewards, but don't want the struggle. What's crazy is the new generation, your grandparents or some of y'all late millennials, your parents worked. Business, working a job, same thing, it's work. Where is the work ethic? The work ethic, whether you build it, listen, the title, the whole point of this live stream is that you're going to work harder building a business than you're going to do for any job. If you're not willing to work and put effort in at your job, you're not going to put it in for your business. Oh, yeah, I'll work harder for myself than bullshit. If you can't meet the scope of work at work, you going to be able to do 100 times that for yourself? You complaining about putting salt on fries. You complaining about pushing carts. Okay, it sucks, but you are a failure as a cart pusher. How you going to fail pushing carts into the thing? And you got the thing pushing the carts, and all you got to do is push the button and push one cart at the end and push the button and then turn it into the thing at Walmart, and you can't even do that right. So what makes you think you finna start a business, do all the mental shit, do all the physical shit, be smart, critical think, problem solve, cut back, make sacrifices, say no. Man, we going to the Kevin Hart thing, man. Man, you going? No. I gotta work. Man, that's all you do is work. Yeah, man, I got goals, man. I got my business plan. And in my business plan, I got a 3-month goal in my goals area of my business plan that I'm trying to meet. And if I take time off the road to come back home to Chicago, that's going to put me behind. A lot of people don't got the plan, so they ain't got goals. They just out here willy-nilly on the lam, just running. No plan. Mark, why I need a business plan for?
You tweaking.
Man got up here and talked about me staying at the crib. Yeah, because I had a plan. I was going to reinvest all my money back into my business. Plan worked. I moved one time in my life. I moved in 2014. I've never moved again. Moved into a place that I own. That was part of the plan. That's why I had a plan. I executed and I worked towards my plan. That's why it worked. I wasn't out here every day just willy-nilly in it with no plan and no nothing. This is why people have a hard time. They don't know what they're doing from one day to the next because they ain't got no plan. They want all the rewards but don't want to do none of the struggle. Part of the struggle is sacrificing. How many Hellcats was bought and how many Hellcats being repossessed? Part of the sacrifice. See, a little bit of money, went out and spent it. That money could have been reinvested. That $1,500, $1,600 could have been reinvested back into the business. Listen, it is what it is. Did Buddy come back with the immigrant stuff? I haven't seen his name since he said that. Did he ever come back? Hey, did he ever come back? You're going to be lonely, big dog. See, that's another thing. A lot of people just don't want to be lonely. It's lonely at the top. It's lonely on the way up to the top. Listen, majority of people in the world work. They're not entrepreneurs. So if you're an entrepreneur, whether you're failing or you're successful, I guarantee you the collective of your friends and family are going to represent the working class instead of the entrepreneurial. You're going to be the minority. So they're not going to relate. The things that they're able to do, you're not going to be able to enjoy them. You may be making money, let's say on the successful side, doing the building, but you're not going to be able to have the time to enjoy the fruits of your labor because you're going to be too busy working, building. They go to work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Friday night, Saturday night, they party. They go to the movies. They go do fun things. You're working. You may be an OTR guy sitting at a truck stop on your reset. By yourself. You willing to do that? See, a lot of people, that's enough right there. Or, listen, we ain't brought Man out. I could tell you the last day I talked about Man. December 31st, 2024. That was the last time I talked about Man or Man. The OTR guys, y'all worried about Man, especially y'all young boy. And I'm going to keep it a buck with you. 9 times 10, if you really thugging it out on the road and you stay over the road, like Young Blood, I told, man, stay over the road. You worry about, man, if you're out, playing games on you, especially if you're in a young in today's time, 9 times out of 10, she probably is. Man stuffing monkey. He punching monkey. Yeah. Ooh, your feelings hurt. Ooh, your feelings hurt. Hey, your feelings hurt. She probably is. On everything I love. She probably, buddy ass, man, fuck little phone, they punch a monkey. What you gonna do? We had one blood, man, he turned the whole truck around, drove halfway across country to get home. When his chick wasn't answering the phone, she cut the phone off on blood. Cut phone off on blood on the weekend. Man said he turned around. What was that, last year, year and a half ago? On one of the show, had to be last year, maybe year before last. Turned the whole truck around, drove halfway across country because she cut the phone off. And man was stuffing. He was punching that. Maybe we should say this for After Dark with Mark. I'll tell you what man doing to you, girl, when you OTR guy. But see, who gonna worry? You gonna worry about that, or you gonna keep making that money? Ooh, it's quiet. It's quiet. Hey, it's quiet. Yeah, buddy ass saw it twerking on Instagram. She wasn't answering the phone. He seen her twerking on Instagram. She posted, she tweaking. She must have then put him on mute or whatever it is. He caught it. He started blowing her phone up. That man stopped what he was doing. That man was driving cross country. Cut phone off on buddy ass. Y'all worry about that type of shit. You building a business. The business come first. If she cheating on you, so be it. Who cares? Go ahead and get that money. She don't understand what you going through. She ain't no entrepreneur. She don't understand. She really ain't there for you. See, what it is people that aren't entrepreneurs, it's hard to understand the plight of an entrepreneur. They'll never understand it. I've been there with relationships, friends. Relationships is going to be the hardest thing, especially if you got in a relationship with a person that works a career. They don't understand this shit, bro. Even when you right there next to them, they don't understand where you mentally where you at. And the problem is that there's not too many entrepreneurs, especially if you come from like environments where I come from. I remember when I was coming, there wasn't nobody to talk to. Wasn't nobody to talk to. I had to bottle up a lot of shit myself because I didn't have no one to talk to understand, even just to ask questions or to even understand where I was at mentally. And different, bridge mountains I was trying to get over and shit like that. You got this now, but this didn't exist when I started. Live streaming didn't exist. Instagram wasn't even a thing. It wasn't even invented yet. So you couldn't even go on platforms and listen to people that have been where you're trying to go to even pull tidbits from that. It didn't exist. So it gets very, very lonely. You don't get the support because they don't understand. So, and I'm not talking about financial support, even just the emotional and the mental support, even just brainstorm. It's hard to brainstorm with a person that just doesn't understand. If you OTR, you driving long hours by yourself, thinking, questioning if you making the right decision or not. It's a lot of alone time. A lot of people can't handle that. It wears on an individual's mental. That's why mental resilience is necessary. If you are a person who needs constant validation and support, and you don't have those type of resources, it's gonna be tough. That's why I say everything starts up here. It's not just what you have up here mentally as far as the knowledge, how strong this is too. This is why the minority is the people who succeed. The majority fail. You need a collective of everything that we talking about in anything you do if you want to be successful at. That's how I can break people down and forecast what's going to happen. I just listen to people talk. The moment a person tell me what they don't want to do, man, go get a job. Oh, you crushing his dreams. Did you just not hear what this motherfucker just said? Listen, business, working a job, still got to do whatever is needed to be done to get to where you need to get to. People willing to give up, man. A motherfucker willing to give up and sleep outside. Van life. This is where we at. When Buddy Ass told me or said what he said, like, yo, how you gonna, like, man, if I can live in a van or live outside in a tent comfortably and don't have to work a job, that's like, what? This is where we at now with it? So you get you a good tent, sleep outside, anything but work. Bet. You gotta be your own self-starter, your own motivator. Self-starter. I don't need nobody to motivate me to do nothing. I'm lying. Yes, I do. The bank. Listen. The bank say it's due. So that means we got to keep it coming in. People's gas say, listen. It's the wintertime. It's -10 outside. So you use a few more therms than you used the month before or last year at this time. Now, we done gave you the therms. We done kept you nice and cozy in there. Ooh, you cooking too. What you cooking? You using all this nice gas that we provide. Listen, this is what you owe us. Now, if you don't pay us, we're going to cut the gas off. I need that coming in. Comment, Mark, you've been streaming a lot. You burning a lot of electricity over there. This is what you owe us. You don't pay us, we're going to cut your black ass off. You think I want to be fumbling around in the dark? The bank. Hey, you know what it is. We ain't got to say nothing. Don't worry about it, pimp. Your stomach, it get to growling and shit. What y'all got down south in Publix? What's that shit called? Publix and shit like that? You go in that grocery store, you get to that register, you ain't walking past the register and not paying. Everything cost. And guess what? I can tell you this too. I remember when regular unleaded was, I used to pay, the cheapest I paid for regular unleaded was 79 cents a gallon. And that was 1998. I would cross the border. It was a gas station in Whiting, Indiana. I would go over there. I lived on the east side. So going over to Indiana is a 10-minute drive across the border. Go past the Horseshoe, right on Indianapolis Boulevard. It's not there no more. It's a place called Discount Gas, right there on Indianapolis and Calumet. Because at the border it was cheap, but it was more expensive at the border because that was the border. I'll go a little bit further in. I remember paying 79 cents a gallon. That was 1998. Where we at right now with fuel? Point that I'm trying to make is over time, everything goes up. Cost of living goes up. So not only do you got to make money, you got to find ways and consistently make more money. So even outside of a business, you still have to go above and beyond. Just with a business, you got to really go above and beyond. So I don't understand why people need people to push them and shit like that. I don't understand that. Like your stomach, the growling in your stomach should be enough to push you. Your landlord or the mortgage company should be enough to push you. Your children should be enough to push you. One, to ensure that you're able to provide a better quality of life than you had coming up. Being prepared for whatever their endeavors. That's the thing. Like, you don't know what their endeavors are going to be, what they want to do. What if they want to go to college? And you have to pay for that. Yeah, they get a scholarship, but guess what? You got to feed their ass. You might want them, you're going to have to pay for them to get to and fro for the holidays. You got to feed them. You got to give them money for laundry. There's still costs that are associated, even if they get a scholarship that's got to come out your pocket. So when people don't, I see people in situations and they're not planning for the future. Like, your kids should be enough to motivate you. But you want to call Big Mark a hater because I tell somebody, yo, you ain't got it. And then when they fail, you don't give them no money after you champion, you encourage that behavior. It's plenty of things that should motivate you within your own life other than other people and other men. God damn it, you kid turned 17, 16, 17, and all of a sudden, Dad, I want to go to Howard. I want to go to Hampton. I want to go to Spelman. I want to go to Clark. And you done bullshitted. Because you didn't have a plan, or you had all this dumb shit. I don't want to work. So the only person that they have to rely on to help set them up for the future, that they have to depend on, to help push them and get them there, is you. But you had a piss poor mentality and attitude. It's selfish. But now when we at this point, ain't shit you can do. It's sad. Which leads me into the whole time frame of success taking years. Most people underestimate how long this shit take. You see a lot of these guys that come up think this shit finna be instant. Nah, bro, you're gonna have some grades. Not everybody get it straight from the cusp. That's far and few between. Not to say nobody does. We see the times have changed. Technology has made it, now where you got a lot of younger people are becoming millionaires, right? Versus, years prior. But even those numbers are minimal. The ones that do, they were one, either early adopters, or two, are the go-getters that are going above and beyond and thinking outside the box and doing what they got to do. You got people that give up on their dreams of becoming an influencer. They give up. Whatever. Anything that you want to be successful at is going to take time. And most people underestimate how long that time takes. They think starting today, they're going to be rich in a year. We've done case that we've looked at people, we've talked to people on the call-in show. It takes years. For the majority, it takes years. There's a minority that are early adopters or, whatever the case may be. But for the majority, it takes years. A lot of your favorite companies, people love Amazon. Well, they did. We don't see too many people speaking as highly as now about it as they were speaking a few years ago. But, people love that. That took a long time. Even Jeff started in a garage, his parents' garage. Tesla recently turned profit some years ago. They struggled for a whole decade. Uber still struggling, Lyft still struggling. The difference between them and you is they got VC money. You don't. And I always say this. This is one of my go-tos when I battle and debate people on working capital. You don't have any venture capitalists funding you. You can't start this business at the top with no money. Uber has been profitable one quarter, I think Q4 of 2023, since their inception, 08, 09? One quarter. So they've been operating in the red all these years except for 3 months. They had 3 measly months in over a decade where they saw profitability. They got VC money. They can go another 10 years in the red. Can you? Do you got billions of dollars in venture capital? No. And the people who you think were successful overnight, believe it or not, they probably been grinding behind the scenes for at least a decade. If you don't got the patience, persistence, and unwavering belief in your vision, mm-mm. This is why I can say what I say, and it come into fruition when I deal with a lot of these cats. And I'm giving you the secret now. The moment a person say what they not willing to do, that's when I just say, all right, well, you're going to fail. You can't be an entrepreneur and say what you're not willing to do. You don't dictate shit. The business does. Business dictated. You got to go above and beyond for the business. Listen, I didn't learn that in business. You know why I learned that at? Working. When I was in college, I worked at the Gap. And I remember upper management always say, look, it'll be just things that would happen and we'd have to change whatever, the plans were today. And this was something that they used to always say, that look, we got to meet the needs of the business. We got to pull some guys out the stock room to ring on the register. We can't take anybody off the sales floor to open up a few more registers because we need people to sell. Let's take some guys that are in the back that are processing new shipment out the back, bring them to the floor that are trained to use the register to meet the needs of the business. Why? Because the floor is packed, the lines are long out the door, and we need to process these lines a lot quicker. We got to meet the needs of the business. So we're going to make sacrifice in one area, right, that isn't producing. We need to produce that money coming in. These people in line, they spending money. So cut that shit out in the back room. Whoever's trained on the register, stop processing the back. We need you to report to floor 1, 2, and 3 to start ringing. It's busy. It's Saturday. That's where I first heard Meet the Needs of the Business in 1998 on Michigan Avenue. And that's one of the things, working a job, I stood out. So when I built my own business, this is one of the things that I learned from working somewhere else that I could implement. Meet the needs of the business. If there's an opportunity it's paying, even though I didn't plan on doing something that day or having a truck stay out there late or whatever the case may be, if the opportunity is presenting itself and it's there, I need to go get that. It's there? Oh man, let me go get that. Shit, it might not be there tomorrow. It might not be no opportunity tomorrow. It might not be no opportunity for the next few days. So if it's there now, I need to go get that. Especially when you on the new and you building the foundation and you don't have the luxury of repeat clients and shit like that, and you ain't to the point where your phone just ringing every day, all day. No, you got to go get that. You ain't in the position to turn nothing down. Let people tell you what they don't want to do. Get out of here, bro. You gonna fail. You want to hear that shit. What I told y'all 2-3 years ago when I first came here, y'all used to be mad at me. I said the market don't care nothing about your feelings. But Mark, I feel, bro, the market don't care nothing about your feelings, because if it did, you would still be doing what you was doing when you first came in. And you still complaining. The people that is complaining, market don't care nothing about your feelings. How passionate are you about your business? How hard are you going to work? How much success do you deserve based off the work ethic you put in, both physically, mentally, emotionally? How much sacrifice? You get out of it what you put into it. Market going to change. The market changes to weed people out. That's why it's called a correction. Listen, like, we need to get some of y'all all the week. We finna get them out of here. Change the market. People stop spending money. Rates go down. The strong will survive and the weak will perish. Y'all hate to hear that shit. That's why the whole shit that we see every year around this time, the whole trucking is trash. Those are the weak people. A real entrepreneur ain't got time to go on the internet and say shit like that. The real entrepreneur, once they see something like that looming on the horizon, they starting to feel that, they go into critical thinking, they go into problem solving mode. They don't have time to go type and thumb punch war, looking for other people that share the same sentiment as they, so we can have this misery love company kumbaya. While that strong person, he doesn't even know that little group of yours, that misery love company group exists, because they're too busy problem solving. That's where the sacrifice kick in. Listen, all right, we got to start cutting some shit. This is crazy. Listen, we got to survive this storm. What we talking about? What is we really talking about? That misery love company. That's why I just be sitting back looking. Oh yeah, he said trucking is trash. He a content creator too. Oh yeah, we got us one. He better not say nothing. Got us one. How you a content creator talking about trucking is trash and you do trucking content? You the person people looking to for information. And look at people in the comment section, facts, gems. So you a bunch of weak people. That's why you watching who you watching. How you a content creator talking about trucking is trash? But 3 months ago, you had the sauce. Say something about it. Say something. We a pennant, undefeated. can't be too bad. His truck's running profitably. You just not willing to do what it takes, or you've made bad decisions or piss poor decisions, or you're not willing to sacrifice. You didn't stop to think, man, maybe as a content creator, I shouldn't go to the internet and complain about trucking after I built a platform on how I'm successful at trucking. Mm. Things that make you go, You know what matters is people willing to pay you for what you offer, the service you offer. See, that's the only thing that matters. It's the money, man. The money is what matters. If people aren't willing to pay you for the service that you offer, then you're going to fail. Because the object is to make money. Period. No matter how much effort you put in, you got to make money. You could be putting in maximum effort. But if you ain't making no money, you're going to fail. That's the bottom line. See, all this shit that y'all, like a lot of y'all young cats, listen to all these quick little 30-second reels and 5 steps and shit, bro. Ain't shit. You ain't going to get nothing with 5 steps. If that's all you think it takes, good luck. After everything I just said, there's some people in here asking, why should I do this? You one of the people I'm talking about. See, Big Mark gonna keep it to you funky. I don't care if you like me or don't. You one of the people I'm talking about. If it didn't change your perspective, if you had a weak perspective or a clouded perspective, then you should have looked at this as refreshing and enlightening and changed your mindset. If your mindset didn't change to, okay, you know what, this makes sense. Let me tighten up. Versus, oh man, maybe I shouldn't do this. You know who I'm talking to. The people who can endure the struggle, the rewards can be life-changing. They can be life-changing. Not everybody, but they can be. You get to build something that's yours. You can control your own destiny, which is a sacrifice. And it's a scary sacrifice. You're no longer dependent on somebody else's paycheck, which can be scary. So listen, regardless of what the internet is telling y'all right now, because they're selling y'all a dream to buy into whatever it is that they're selling, not everybody needs to be independent. Some people need delegation. Facts. We've seen people come up on the show that 100% need delegation. They think they don't, but they do. Entrepreneurship is brutal. And I didn't input any of the competitive shit. I threw a little bit in there when Pop Solo came in here with the whole immigrant versus American shit, and I had to shut that shit down because I'm an American. And ain't no immigrant gonna outwork Big Bar. You think I'm finna let an immigrant put me to the point of homelessness? You gotta be out your goddamn rabbit ass cotton picking mind. So that ain't true. I don't care if you blue, green, immigrant, whatever. I gave a bunch of examples earlier. You gotta rewind if you came late. I cooked. He came in here with that. I cooked. Ooh, I cooked, man. I ain't cooked like that in a minute. Gotta go back and watch that. It's brutal. Competition can be fierce. It's gonna break you if you ain't strong. If you refuse to quit and you embrace the grind, you push through the darkest times, the darkest days, because it's gonna be some dark days. Listen, it's gonna be some dark days. If you can get through all that, you'll experience success in a way that most people never will. Most people can't get through all that shit. And that's the truth. And it's not negative, it's not pessimistic, it's the truth. Elon is where he's at because of the perseverance. Jeff, perseverance. All these guys that Mark Zuckerberg, Bernard Arnault, Sergey Brin, all these guys embodied everything that we just talked about. And then we didn't cover competition. We can get into competition. Look at Google. The only one that's still really around is Yahoo. And they ain't nowhere near what Google at. Where's Lycos? Where's AOL? All these browsers from back in the day that some of y'all probably never even heard of because y'all either weren't born or weren't in the internet or browsing in the mid to late 90s like I was. That's why I ain't finna go down the list of them. Excite, Lycos. Where are they today? Google came and crushed them. They put their foot on their neck. Got them up out the way. See, some of y'all will bullshit your way through some of this other shit, and then you gonna come up against a Google or a Big Mark. That's just going to they sole mission is market share. They sole mission, let me cut his lights off. Listen, we're going to give you $1 billion, man. Just go ahead. Man, take this $1 billion, man. This ain't nothing for us, man. Just go ahead and get up out the way. Oh, you didn't want to take the $1 billion? You sure? Now we giving you an out. You got him. All right, bet. It's our sole mission. Cause we finna beat them. We trending upwards. They can't fuck with us. So let's just make it our mission now on the way up to just have some fun and just go ahead and crush their windpipe. Name me one e-commerce company from America that can compete with Amazon that they ain't put out of business. We ain't talking about Alibaba ain't here. That's Chinese. That's Jack Ma. We talking about American. I'll wait. They killed everybody. Go big box, retail, Walmart, Isaiah mentioned Walmart. Some of y'all, I go down this list all the time. Some of y'all ain't gonna know. Montgomery Wards, Sears, Kmart. Shit, we had Goldblatt's, Circuit City. Shit, Handy Andy is gone. Listen, I Venture, Ames, Zare. All these big box retailers that were around, Walmart started pushing their way through. Then Amazon in the mid to late, once they switched over from books to everything, some of y'all like, what the fuck is a Montgomery Ward? Service merchandise. These are all stores that we used to go to that all existed at the same time. This is how many big box retail brands there were at the same time. All these stores were open. You had an option back in the day. You can go to Zare, you can go to Venture, you can go to Montgomery Ward, you can go to Service Merchandise, Goldblatt's, Sears. All these big box retailers existed at the same time. And everybody was getting it. One company came and just killed all of that. Whose fault? It's theirs. Why? They didn't put the money in the R&D like they should have. They had people on the board that were naive, that had been sitting on the board and making money for decades, that thought things wouldn't change. You can go on YouTube and look at interviews from CEOs that used to go on not Jay Leno, but Johnny Carson and David Letterman back in the day that used to make fun of this internet. What is this internet? Yeah, of course. No, it's not going to happen. Yeah, people have to go into traditional stores. Like one day I'll make a collection of a lot of these old interviews from a lot of these CEOs that used to go on these late night talk shows and just make fun of the internet when the internet was first invented. And here we are today because they just didn't believe. And I understand it. Back then, I remember as a kid, seeing, futuristic things and what they say we were going to be at in 30 years. And some of it just didn't seem realistic. Why? Because technology just wasn't advancing at the speed that it's advancing today. Things were a lot slower 35 years ago. So I would have been just as guilty. I'm transparent. I probably would have been one of the ones that was like, oh, hell no. As a child, you know what I'm saying? I just didn't think like that. There's things that have happened today that 10 years ago, I listen, I remember saying that as long as I got trucks, people are always going to come to work. And look at the mindset that we have today. People don't want to work. 10 years ago, if you would have told me that the mindset of people today was going to be what it is, I would not have believed you. My argument was like, how people going to pay their bills? Man, Mark, people going to be willing to live in vans. They're going to have some shit called van life. They're going to be willing to live in tents. You're going to start seeing tent cities pop up, and people are going to rebel against working jobs, and they're going to proactively live in tents and under bridges. And I would have been like, nah, man, that ain't true. I would not have believed you. I would have bet you everything, and I would have lost. I would have lost. Because my mindset is that of if you don't work, like I would have never thought the mindset that people have today, it would have, no, it's no way. So I can understand how the CEOs and a lot of the board members and did not see what happened. And even when they were denouncing and making fun of it, I can kind of understand. But at the end of the day, it happened. And because it did, it resulted in the fate of all these companies. Nowadays, you have to implement into your research and development the future so that you don't get caught left holding the bag. Because technology is moving at a faster pace than it did 20, 25, 30. As time goes on, technology gets faster and faster and faster. As it advances, it gets faster. But back then, because it was moving so slow, the mindset of people in those high places, it wasn't because they had been doing the same thing for decades. Times have changed. Times have changed. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. So now you have to think of that too. It is what it is. These are facts. So if you're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, you gotta be honest with yourself. This is something I always tell people. You gotta be honest with yourself. You know you better than anybody. I'm just good at listening to your plight and telling you, all right, do this, do that, or just being straight blunt with you. Now go ahead and go get a job. And y'all hate when I say that. But see, y'all don't know how to assess it because you ain't been where I've been. You still trying to figure it out. Most people I tell get a job because they say they not willing to do some shit. So I go get a job then. I done did a bunch of shit I didn't want to do. I didn't want to get back on the truck in 2020 when everybody got that free money. I'd say it all the time. I had to. I had no choice. I could have been like, oh, I ain't been on a truck in 7 years. I could have took that cop out. But I didn't. You know why? Because I'm a real entrepreneur. I'm going to meet the needs of the business. Even at an older age, you know, and just I ain't got no choice. I don't have a choice. This is what I signed up for. Motherfucker, 28 years old, talking about what he don't want to do. So I gotta drive the truck. Yeah. What you mean? How you gonna train somebody how to run a business that you never ran before? So as soon as something happened on the road, they call you. All right, boss, what I do? Shit, I don't know. Let me go in this Mark the Mentor guy's Discord at 3 a.m. Hopefully he is woke and hopefully he responds to me. What? These are the things people saying. Guess what? People in that video comment, not many, but people saying, listen, another brother crushing another brother. So did you just not hear what this fool said? This dude expects to start a business with no money and no experience and thinks he's going to be successful. Well, how do you problem solve? You think something ain't going to happen on the road? Let's say he comes up with just enough money to get those 3 trucks on the road. Just enough, like he said. I guarantee you first week something's going to happen. Then what? No money, no problem solving skills. Why? Because no fucking experience, because he never wanted to take his black ass out there and experience it so that he can train people to be successful. So when I come and give you the harsh reality and keep you straightforward and look you down in your eye and be like, man, you're going to fail. I'm the bad guy. And I'm not saying it, facetiously. I'm based off what you're telling me. There's merit behind everything that I'm saying. Everything that I'm saying is valid. Be honest with yourself. You know what you got up here. You know if you him or not. You really know if you him or not. You know that shit. Are you gonna make them sacrifices? You know if you're gonna make the sacrifices. We know what some people' biggest sacrifice is. Boo Bay. Some of y'all just can't. Some of y'all just can't leave. Listen, my chick right now. Listen, listen. I'm from the crib. Listen, we hustlers. We hustlers. I'm from the land of the hustlers. It's just in us. It's in us. It's different. You gotta have that hustle. You know if you got it in you or not. Can you say no? Nah, babe, I can't come home off the road. I'm getting it. Man, how you gonna handle it when she cut that phone off on you on the weekend, big dog, and you way cross country? Yeah, and I'm putting it in your head. Yeah, man there. He probably there. The likelihood of man being there is higher than him not being there. I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you, big dog. Now get mad if you want to. The likelihood of man being punching monkey, he stuffing, is higher than it probably ain't, big dog. I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you. Can you handle that failure, that uncertainty, that rejection that comes with business? And then counter it by problem solving and correcting the issues and continuing on your path forward up and to the right. If you deal with rejection and failure and uncertainty, bad, go ahead and get you a job. It's going to be a lot of that. All right. Are you willing to work harder than you ever worked in your life? If not, go ahead and get up out the way, bro. You in the way. Listen, if you're not willing to work harder than you ever work in your life, and you say no to a bunch of shit, and you're not willing to go above and beyond and meet the needs of the business, man, you in the way. Just make it easier on yourself and just go ahead and get out the way before somebody, that one of these killers come and just stomp your cheeks together. These cheeks. Go ahead and just go and exit stage left. Get out the way for one of these killers come on here and just cut your water off. Turn your lights off. Knock your taco back. Just make it easy on yourself. For real. I'm just being honest with you. You in the way. You a person that we just go ahead and we call that, we just gonna get you up out the way real quick. You in the way. Some people like, man, what is he talking about? You in the way? Yeah, you a middle American. You don't know. You pay attention. Follow the channel. Hit the subscribe button. Turn on post notifications. Hit the like button. And then you're going to understand some of this language that we talking about. You in the way. How am I in the way, Mark? I'm just trying to. You in the way. Get up out the way, bro. You in the way. Make it easy on yourself. This is going to be the hardest shit you ever do. It's gonna be the hardest shit you ever do. I'm telling you. Bro, listen, and I kept it surface level. If you follow my channel, we done got deep. We ain't even talked about the scale and the personalities of employees and shit like that, and having to be fucking Dr. Phil and all this shit. See, you can't even handle that. We ain't even get to that. I'm keeping it shit. I'm trying to keep it. If you can survive when everyone else quits, the rewards will be beyond anything that you can imagine. Listen, I'm going to tell you this. Building a business is a struggle. You're going to go through a lot, bro. A lot. But once you get over that mountain and you see that success, and I'm telling you, it's going to be well worth it. But in the midst of the shit, in the thick of it, when you in the trenches, Oh man, just thinking of some things that I've gone through, especially dealing with people. My biggest thing was people, bro. Like some of these people you got to deal with. Man, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, and depending on the market you in, I'm in a rough market. Doing labor intensive work, you already know what type of people I'm dealing with. It's just, mentally, it can be frustrating. So you know yourself better than anybody. Shout out to Running Warrior. Thanks for joining. I see you. Shout out to everybody from the crib. Shout out to everybody from the crib. Listen, you know yourself better than anybody. For 2025, people need to start being honest with themselves. I ain't never finna let up. I don't care what you say. The truth is the truth. Ain't no ticky tack, TikTok, real, 30-second, 1 minute real content over here. You getting real, raw content. Ain't no won't bam, thank you, ma'am. Ain't none of this. 5 simple steps over here. You're going to get it straight from an OG that came in a different time period that has the know-how and the reality to get you where you need to go, whether you like it or whether you don't. And if you follow the channel long enough, you'll see the results, or you've seen the results. Listen, you know why so many people, because I got semi-truckers that subscribe to my channel. Some are in here now. You got cargo van people, you got box truck people, you got people that aren't even in trucking that subscribe to the channel. You have a lot of experienced people. I don't make novice content. I don't like novice content because I don't have the patience for it. I've stated it. There's a lot of experienced people that follow me as well. And you know why? Because people that have experience know experience. You can't talk about experience if you haven't had experience. Even when people challenge some of the shit that they believe on the internet, right? They fall short. Even when I say things that you may not understand, it's well thought out, and I'm purposely doing it to strike a nerve. Like what I was talking about with the whole cheap freight thing that I went on last year. A lot of people got upset. They still mad. But they missed the point. I don't care. Be honest with yourself. If you're not willing to say no, potentially lose your relationship, potentially never have no free time, especially at the beginning, willing to do whatever it takes, willing to cut a person's lights off, cut their water off if they in your way. And we talking about from a business perspective. All right. We ain't talking about riding down on Buddy and them. We not talking about that. We talking about from a business perspective now. That's in your business. If you're not willing to do all that, if you're not willing to put the sacrifices in and cut back and practice delayed gratification and meet the needs of the business fully, then nah. And this could take a year, it could take 2 years, it could take 3 years, it could take 4 years till you see some type of sunny days. And that's just what that is. look. So on that note, you know, it's just what it is. Hopefully, you guys got some type of value from this. Uh, you know, it is what it is. Like I don't know what else to say. So that's just needed to be said. Ain't no whatever. All right. So on that note, did that guy ever come back before I get out of here? What was his name? Pop Solo? Because I went off. Pop Solo said, "Hey, listen, I went off. After I get off this line, I got to go back and watch the replay of that. I went off. I went off. Pop Solo came in here with that shit. I went off. Talking about some immigrant going out working America. You gotta be out your copy. Listen, they might, not me. I told Pop Solo he can come. I'm more. Ain't nobody going out. Yeah, I gotta go watch the replay of that, man. I'm out, y'all. Peace.